yet his behavior was exemplary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sachidananda Vigraha. His form is completely spiritual, full of bliss and knowledge, and it is eternal. Because the living entities are his parts and parcels. Originally, they also belong to the same quality of the eternal form of the Lord. But when they come in contact with Maya, the material potency, due to their forgetfulness, their existential constitution is covered. We should try to understand the appearance of Lord Krishna in this spirit as the Kumaras pray to him. He is eternally a coward boy at down. He is eternally the leader of the battle of Kurukshetra. And he is eternally the opulent prince of Dwarka and the lover of the damsel of Vrindavan. All his appearances are meaningful because they show how his real characteristics, because they show his real characteristics to the conditioned souls who have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord. He does everything for their benefit. The force exhibited in the battle of Kurukshetra by the desire of Krishna and through the agency of Arjuna was also necessary because when people become too irreligious, force is required. Non-violence is the respect. Non-violence in this respect is rascaldom.
Yeah, Prabhu, you want to say something?
Right, okay. So here we see that Lord Krishna, first of all, he exhibits, he's actually first the benefit of everyone in general, and he destroys everything evil, and is the proprietor, the maintainer of the entire universe. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Lord Krishna's position is never diminished, but he's so merciful, so humble, that he takes his humble position and of becoming a cowherd boy and offering respect to Sudama. And the others like Nanda Maharaj, Vasudev, Maharaj Yudhishthir, Kunti Devi. So this does not diminish his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But this was his humility, his behavior towards his devotees, because he's very kind to his devotees. And all of them knew that he was the Supreme Lord. And of course, the Lord is always Sachinananda Vigraha, eternal form, blissful, full of knowledge, and completely spiritual. And we as parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, our original quality is also there. But right now we are covered by Maya, and we've forgotten. And this covering of Maya also, we forget our eternal constitution position, which is to serve the Supreme Lord. And he displays different roles. He plays these different roles. He was at battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader in Dwarka, Vrindavan, and the lover of damsel. Just for just to reciprocate with his different devotees in the different relationships, and these pastimes are done for all the conditioned souls, so for their benefit, so that by knowing these pastimes or hearing about these pastimes, will get attracted to him. And in some violence also is necessary, and the Lord executes violence through his devotees sometimes to give them the credit, like he did on the battlefield of Kurukshetra by making Arjuna the instrument in killing all this opposing party. Yes, Prabhu, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Kasturi Manjari Mataji, you're there now?
Yeah, I'm here, but I think right now I'm doing wrap-up things like clean up after.
Okay.
So you guys discuss, I'm listening, and if I feel like adding something, I will add, okay?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Prabhu, you covered the main points again. So it goes back this one that Lord Vishnu was taking a very humble position, and because he was saying, I'm the servitor of my devotees. So this is where now the prayers of Kumaras are going on. And so we hear the statement where Kumaras is saying, therefore, your potency is not reduced by your submissive behavior, right? When Arjun became a chariot driver of no, Krishna became a chariot driver of Arjun. It's not like Krishna is losing his supremacy, or he's the supreme personality of Godhead and he's still taking that position. That doesn't mean he's lesser. It's just showing how much he loves his devotees, that for his devotees he's ready to do so many things. He's ready to do become a chariot driver. So there are there these characteristics. This humble humility of Krishna is showing through example that how we should be humble. And and then this different features of Krishna, being the cowherd boy, being the lover of the damsels of Vrindavan, these are eternal. And the Prabhupada also mentions that uh, that Krishna wants auspicious things to happen. So if Arjun didn't want the war to happen, it would Krishna would kill the people who were to be killed because they were causing irreligiosity. So whatever Krishna does is for auspiciousness, for religiosity. So this is a statement saying he never wants the auspicious part to be destroyed.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why this statement is very apt here. Non-violence in this respect is rascaldom. Prabhupada is using these very strong words that we sometimes in the modern society keep on saying this word non-violence, right? But if it is against the will of Krishna, this non-violence is not good, right? Krishna wanted to have that the earth be ruled by a proper religious king, and that could have only happened through the war after those irreligious people are killed, so that religiosity can be established in the world and Yudhishthir can become the king. Okay, we can move on to the next one. Somebody wants to read?
Prabhu, today I'm not going to read. I have so many words to do, so
Okay.
I'm just listening the class. Okay, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I can read.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's 25. Yam Vanayor Damam Adhisa Bhavan Vidhate Vritti Nuva Tad Anu Manmahi Nirvelikam Asmasu Vaya Uchito Dhriyatam Sadandando ये नागशु वयम अवयमयुक्षहि किल्बिषेण. Scroll down from that. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us without duplicity. Prabhuji, I cannot read. What is that? Or also to us?
We shall accept without this duplicity. Sorry, let me move this.
We shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have cursed two faultless persons. Purport: the sages, the four Kumaras, now reject their cursing of the two doorkeepers, Jay and Vijay, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of the Lord cannot be at fault at any stage. It is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of the Lord, or who actually engages in transcendental loving service, has all the good qualities of the demigod. Therefore, a devotee cannot be at fault. If sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangement, that should not be taken very seriously. The cursing of Jaya and Vijay is here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance, and they are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, when dealing with devotees, we should try to find faults. Okay, we should not try to find fault. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the devotee who faithfully serves the Supreme Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu or saintly person. Due to former habits, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously.
Yeah, Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, Prabhuji, here basically the four Kumaras, I mean, so they rejected, now they reject the cursing of the two doorkeeper Jay and Vijay. Now they come to know that it was some mistake from their end, and they are repenting basically. They don't want to punish. And one good thing is mentioned here, very nice, Prabhupada. So like it's mentioned that the devotee actually who is engaged in the service of the Lord possess all good qualities of demigods basically. So their devotee cannot be at fault. If sometime by some mistake they may say something, but that it's mentioned that maybe due to their past dealing, but now we should not take it seriously. So because devotee, like we should not consider their fault, and that is a fault, and we should always obey them. Yeah, that's all. Prabhu. Sorry, you can add.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, this is the shloka from Bhagavad Gita. I think it's 9th chapter. I don't recall. Is it
Yes,
9th
right.
chapter?
Yes, 9th chapter. Api chet suduracharo bhajte mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasoto hi saha. And then he says that what is that? Shipram bhavti dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati konteya prati name bhaktya pranashyati. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, so here in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that that the devotee, even if they commit a mistake, they are to be considered saint. It's just like we have started the cleansing process. Like when we go to the shower, we've started taking the process of shower. We're not clean yet, but we are in that process. So the devotees of the Lord are to be considered, even if they have considered an abominable act. We should never find faults with them. And Krishna promises that he tells Arjun that you tell to the world, because the Krishna sometimes doesn't keep his promise, because we know that he lifted the chariot wheel, even though he as a weapon in the in the Mahabharat war, but meaning it's in a way he did lift a weapon, or he did not lift the weapon, but he always keeps the promises of his devotees, right? Like Narad Muni, Narad Muni had cursed or given a benediction to Nalkuvera and Manigriva that they will be delivered by Krishna. So Krishna did that. So he always keeps the promises of his devotees. So he's telling Arjun that my devotees will never perish. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that the devotees, they could commit some mistakes because of there's something wrong in the past, but if they're firmly devoted, all these things will go away, and they become, and they are on the path of cleansing, and they'll become pure devotees. And we should not find faults with devotees, right? That Vaishnava Aprad, Vaishnava Ninda is very serious business. We should stay away from that. And because of the sweet words, because of the kind words, because of the transcendental words, how Krishna or Lord Vishnu is so daksha, he's an expert, that when he spoke, he took the position of humility, and he's saying he's the servitor of the devotees, that touched the hearts of the Kumaras. And now they're saying that we are at fault, that we curse two faultless persons. So you can award whatever punishment you want to them, to these innocent people, or also to us, because they realize their mistake, that they were in the mode of passion and ignorance, that as sadhus, as brahmanas, they should not have cursed. They realize their mistake, and that's what they're saying. Now it's up to you, Krishna. Whatever punishment you want to give, you give. Kasturi Manjari Mataji, you want to add or anything?
Yeah, this whole back and forth with Krishna and the Kumaras is really, really amazing. I mean, I'm feeling mesmerized by it actually, like really amazing. I mean, see, just by Krishna speaking in an empathic way, I was saying yesterday also that the Kumaras, they kind of recognized what they have done, right?
Yeah.
If Krishna would have started blaming them, oh, you are the Brahman realized, how can you think like that? How can you get angry? They wouldn't have acknowledged and they wouldn't have accepted, regretted actually, right?
Yeah.
So like yesterday I was saying that how parenting, this is a great lesson in parenting actually. We can really, really touch the hearts of our kids if we behave like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm remembering the pastime of Jagara and Vijay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when they were when they were accepted and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showered his mercy on them, then he told all the Vaishnavas, from now onwards, you are not going to speak anything about their past life at all. Right? And then in this purport also, Srila Prabhupada writes, due to their past life, sometimes devotees may make mistakes. So now, Krishna doesn't see that as mistake or aparad, then who are we to? I mean, this is a great lesson actually, what Srila Prabhupada is writing. So, meaning actually, in one sense, Krishna is telling Kumaras that actually what you are doing is also not right. What you did is not right, actually.
Yeah.
But he did not scold. He did not just punish them. Instead of that he just spoke in nice words. So how just speech, if we can have a nice speech like this Krishna speech, then like Krishna's words are always pleasing. One of the qualities, 64 qualities, right? So that's what Krishna is exhibiting here. Wow. And his Bhaktotsala quality, that he doesn't want his devotees, Jay and Vijay, to feel bad also at the same time, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Mhm. But this is a great lesson. I mean, I always feel so energized when I read or hear this kind of Krishna's disposition. Yeah, go ahead, Yanu.
Thank you, Mataji. So I'll read 26 verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Eto Suretara Gatim Pratipadya Sadyah Sambrama Sambrata Samadhya Anubadha Yogo Bhuya Saksham Upa Yashrato Ashu Yoga Sapo Mayava Nimitastad Eveta Vipraha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in a demoniac family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration, intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. Purport. The Lord stated the punishment inflicted by the sages upon the doorkeepers, Jay and Vijay, was conceived by the Lord himself. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. It is to be understood that there was a plan in the cursing of the Lord's devotees in Vaikuntha, and his plan is explained by many stalwart authorities. The Lord sometimes desires to fight. The fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? Because the Lord is the source of everything, anger and fighting are also inherent in his personality. When he desires to fight with someone, he has to find an enemy. But in the Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy because everyone is engaged fully in his service. Therefore, he sometimes comes to the material world as an incarnation in order to manifest his fighting spirit. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8 also, it is said that the Lord appears just to give protection to the devotees and to annihilate the non-devotees. The non-devotees are found in the material world, not in the spiritual world. Therefore, when the Lord wants to fight, he has to come in this world. But who will fight with the Supreme Lord? No one is able to fight with him. Therefore, because the Lord's pastimes in the material world are always performed with his associates, not with others, he has to find some devotee who will play the part of an enemy. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says to Arjun, "My dear Arjun, both you and I have appeared many, many times in this material world, but you have forgotten, whereas I remember." Thus, Jay and Vijay were selected by the Lord to fight with him in the material world, and that was the reason the sages came to see him, and accidentally the doorkeepers were cursed. It was the Lord's desire to send them to the material world, not perpetually, but for some time. Therefore, just on a theatrical stage, someone takes the part of enemy to the proprietor of the stage, although the play is for a short time, and there is no permanent enmity between the servant and the proprietor. So the Surajanas, devotees, were cursed by the sages to go to the Asurajanas, or the atheistic families. That a devotee should come into an atheistic family is surprising, but it is simply a show. After finishing their mock fighting, both the devotee and the Lord are again associated in the spiritual planets. That is very explicitly explained here. That conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planet, for it is the eternal abode. But sometimes, as the Lord desires, devotees come into the material world as preachers or as atheists. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of the Lord. Lord Buddha, for example, was an incarnation, yet he preached atheism, there is no God. But actually, there was a plan behind this, as explained in the Bhagavatam. Very bold. Yeah, so here the Lord again is saying that because he respects the Brahmanas, he worships them, he says that the punishment which was inflicted by the sages, that's going to happen. Kumaras, the Vijay and Vijay will take birth in a demonic family, will go back to the material world, but they will be always thinking of Krishna, always thinking of Vishnu, but that will not be at the devotee bhava, but will be the bhava in terms of enmity, and they will return to Krishna very shortly, because after 3 births they are going to return back to the spiritual world. And Prabhupada explains that when these kind of things happen, when we cannot explain these things, we understand it is the plan of the Lord. There are many examples, like Parikshit Maharaj being cursed to die in 7 days. There's a bigger plan of the Lord that he wanted us to take Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, how a pure devotee can offend a Brahmana? If we think about Kaikai transpiring along with making that all the evil plans to send Ram to the forest. Again, there was a plan that Lord needs go to the forest and then kill. All the things had to happen so that he can kill Ravan. So there is always a bigger plan that the Lord is thinking. If his pure devotees are doing something which thinks out of the ordinary, or they are being punished, or they are being put into difficult situations, even Bhishma Dev, when he was lying on the bed of arrows, and Yudhishthir Maharaj and Arjun, Krishna, everybody had come to see. Bhishma Dev says that Yudhishthir Maharaj and Kunti had to go through so much trouble, not because they had done bad deeds, but it is the will of the providence. It's Krishna's sanction. So there is a greater plan in action there. It's Krishna's will. So here the Krishna wanted to fight, and in Vaikuntha you cannot fight because everybody is a devotee of the Lord. So he comes to the material world. But even in the material world, who is as capable as him? There's nobody who can fight with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Jay and Vijay are ready to take that position where they become his enemies and fight. So Krishna's that fighting propensity, that he can get that rasa. And Prabhupada makes one thing here, that everything in this world is coming from Krishna. So there's the statement that either there is Krishna and then there is Krishna. So everything what we see is either Krishna or it is Krishna. So even the fighting spirit in which it comes to, comes from the Supreme Lord. So Krishna had that fighting spirit, and Jay and Vijay are ready to take that punishment so that they can fulfill the wishes of the Lord. And then Prabhupada gives the example of Buddha also comes, and even though he's the incarnation of the Lord, he's teaching atheism, because at that time people were taking the Vedas, like they were interpreting the Vedas incorrectly, and were doing so much non-violence and giving the sacrifices of the animals to please the deities. So that was incorrect, right? So Lord Buddha came here for that time, place, and circumstance to give those teachings so that the people become non-violent. And Prabhupada also makes sense that this is just a show. This is not that devotees never fall down from Vaikuntha planet. It's to please the Lord. They do some leela here, and then they go back to their original position. So it's a leela, it's a play that they are being shown as Ravan, Kumbhakaran, and Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyaksha, and Dantavakra, and the other demons, Sishupal, but actually they are the Jay and Vijay who are very close to the Lord. Yeah, Mataji, or somebody wants to add or edit?
Actually, Prabhu, I have a question.
Yeah,
I always pondered on this. It is always said that when the devotees of the Lord are slain, they don't get they get Sayujya, Sayujya Mukti, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't get.
They don't get Saujya. Devotees will not get Saujya.
They'll merge into the existence of the Lord, right? So
those are not the devotees. Those are
demons
those
and
are
all.
demons
Yeah.
and all.
Okay, so no, I'm sorry. Excuse me, not devotees. I mean demons. So Sishupal or Ravana or Kumbhakarna or Kamsa. So what kind of liberation did they get?
I believe they go back after the 3 births to Jay and Vijay. At one point they get the Saujya, but after that they again take birth and then come back, right, Mataji, Kasturimaji Mataji?
Yeah. So because of their curse like this, they had to go, meaning take that, because we know Shishupal was Sayujya Mukti, right?
Right.
Shishupal, one of the incarnations. It's not clear that just after, like Ravana and Kumbhakarna, when they were killed, just after that they came as Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, just after they were killed by the Lord Varadev and Narsingadev. Did they come just after that, or they waited somewhere? It's not clear, Prabhu. Like, how did that happen? What was the whole?
Because initially it said that the demons they never get. They get Sayujya Mukti.
Yeah, but sometimes Putana was a demon too, right?
Right. She got devotee. Right? She got Dhatri, right?
Yeah, Dhatri. So,
right. Okay. So
it's different. Generally, they don't get that the liberation that devotees get, but sometimes there are some exceptions.
So after Kamsa got killed, then he went back as either Jay or Vijay, right? Because that's the last birth. So Lord is saying after.
Yes.
No, Kamsa, not Kamsa.
Shishupal.
Right?
Shishupal and Dantavakra.
Okay, Shishupal and Dantavakra. Okay, sorry. So they got personal liberation. They went back as Jay and Vijay. So up until, but see, Shishupal is saying that he got Sayujyam.
So after that, so probably after that, like within some time, he got that means, because after Sayujya also, because of devotee association or something, one can get a different one, right? One can go back to the Vaikuntha planets.
So he went after Savija, he went, I guess. After
Yeah.
that, he got rebirth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji,
Thank
and
you.
I have a question.
Hmm.
It's also said that Jagai and Madai are Jain Vijay.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
I also heard. Yes.
Yeah,
Some they say that in Chaitanya Leela, Jaga and Madaya are those demon kind of things, but no
I
matter
heard
how
about that, Mataji, that Jay and Vijay, they wanted to take part in the Leela of Lord,
yeah,
Lord Chaitanya, and that's why
yeah,
they came as Jagai and Madai. They
yeah.
wanted
So,
to be part of Lord's
yeah,
pastime.
it was for Leela purpose.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So anything? Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Yeah.
So you were saying about the Bhishma Dev part, right? Bhishma Dev, then when he says that why did Pandavas and Kunti had to suffer? There was no reason. So that means it was the will of providence, right?
Yeah.
So Bhishma Dev told 3 points there. Like because of these 3 points, if one is following these 3 points, then after that also somebody has to go through reversals. That means it should be taken as will of the Lord. So anybody remembers those 3 points? What did Bhishma Dev say? The three checkpoints.
Was it the Shastras, the Brahmanas, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget.
Shastra Brahmana.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
it was that if one is taking guidance from the Vaishnava Brahmanas, first thing, if you are doing everything according to the guidance of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Second point was if you are following all the dharma, meaning you are acting according to dharma, and the third one was you are acting for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, not for your sense enjoyment. Then if something happens, if still you have to go through reversal, that means it's the plan of the Lord. Those were the points that Dev told.
But Mataji, at the same time, don't we not say that not even a blade of grass can move without the will of Lord?
Yeah, but yes, so okay, so there are multiple things that happen. So meaning any action cannot be completed until the sanction of that one of the factors of action, fifth factor of action, right? Nothing happens without the will of the Lord, without the sanction of the Lord. So sometimes he just has to sanction. It's not for his pleasure, but he sanctions because the living entity is desiring it so badly. It may not be the right act, so he has to sanction. Just like that sarvasya cha amriti sannivishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha, that forgetfulness also comes from Krishna. Why is he making everybody forget something? Because we want to, right? Because of our desire. It does not mean that because the Lord is sanctioning that he is responsible for that. No, we are responsible for it.
Yeah.
Does it make sense, Prabhu?
we have some free will actually. So
Yeah, we are responsible for. He is just sanctioning our desire, even
So
though
either
it
way,
is not.
in all cases, is the free. In one case, it's the will of the Lord as he pleases, and in the other case, it's the will of the Lord as the living entity desires.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So meaning, if it is devotees are doing that, meaning in case of devotees who are doing things for the pleasure of the Lord, then it is positive. But in other case, we are when one is exercising the free will in a wrong way, and it is getting sanctioned, then we are incurring reaction to it because of not doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the classic example of why do bad things happen to good people.
To good
In this
people,
case,
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mataji? It's
I
8:12.
I think there was something in my mind, but so this whole Jayant Vijay pastime, basically. So yeah, and in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that it is actually me who orchestrated this curse, right?
Right.
It's Leela. All this is Leela, and through this Leela, Krishna is teaching so many lessons to us, right?
Yeah.
So that means we should not have any kind of negative feeling. Oh, Kumara has acted like that. Oh, Jay and Vijay acted like that, and Lakshmi ji acted like that. Because all this whole thing was started with Lakshmi Devi, and then by the will of the Lord, Jay and Vijay expressed their desire that we can fulfill your chivalrous mood. Uh, all that happened. It's Lakshmi Devi and Jan Vijay, and then Krishna's desire to have that fight, right? So for Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and for Shishupal, Dantavakra, we shouldn't have any kind of, oh, how could they do like that and all that stuff, right? So, yeah. Basically, because Krishna is orchestrating this Leela for us to take some lessons. So that's the important point in this particular purport and verse. Yeah. All right. So maybe I think it's time somebody else can.
Yeah. I think we will switch to Bhagavad Gita, but before that, any takeaways from Bhagavatam? So we'll move to Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, one
Everything
thing.
is, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Prabhuji, I was saying one thing is it's mentioned about Vaishnava Aparadh. So we should never consider devotees at fault, even though we see like art. I mean, outside with something is happening, but still we should not blame for it. We have to consider it is due to their like some past activity. But now, yeah, we should not think much about it actually, because devotee now they already started the devotional service, so they are getting pure and yeah, they are very close to Krishna. So we should not consider that offense.
Yeah. And the other thing I was thinking was even the four Kumaras are realizing their mistakes. So when we get angry, we tend to be in the mode of ignorance or passion, right? And they were Brahmanas, so they were in the mode of passion, ignorance, which caused them to curse. So when extenuating circumstances come, we should check ourselves, right? If I'm going to do something which is not favorable to Krishna consciousness, which is not according to, which is not going to be pleasing to Krishna, then we should not do it. In a sense, like even Shatrughna was very displeased with Mantara, and he wanted to actually punish Mantara, kill her. And then Bharat says, I also want to punish my mom and Mantara, but will this please Lord Krishna? Will please Lord Ram? Lord Ram will not be pleased if I do that. So I will not punish Mantara, or I will not punish my mom. So that's the lesson here. They realize, the Kumaras realize that, okay, you can punish us also because we are in the wrong. Again, but of course, it's a Leela. But for us, when we are put in that circumstances, we check ourselves. Are we going to do something which is not pleasing Krishna? So stop. If it's not, then we restrain ourselves. Okay, it's 8:17. Let's move on. Yes.
One just quick thing. What I kind of understood, and I feel like this mode of passion ignorance that Kumaras were in. So I was just thinking that they were angry, and just after that they heard the Lord speaking. So when we are in some kind of mood like this, we now, because of practicing devotional service, we understand that we are going in that mood, right? So I'm just thinking that then I think we should hear some lecture or something, because that way we will get some instruction from the lecture and we might rise from that lower mode to a higher mode or go beyond modes, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Hearing, chanting, yes, definitely. That puts it in the right perspective.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I
Mataji.
heard somewhere.
And one little more point from what Gopavrinda Pal Prabhu was saying about that we shouldn't see the faults in the devotees because they are chanting. I'm just relating it to yesterday also when we were discussing Bhagavad Gita. There, if somebody is chanting, means they have already done all those karma kanda and jnana kanda and everything, basically, right? So basically we should understand that how. And I'm just thinking that always keep these two verses, apichet suduracharo verse and the next one, in our forefront of the head. Yeah, for
Yes.
me, I mean, I want to actually. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Mataji.
also heard some in a lecture somewhere that when you get angry, take a moment, take a moment and just chant, because that will chanting will bring you back to that mode of goodness. So whenever if you get angry and you get unbelievably angry, you don't know what, so mad at somebody, forget everything, just take your beat back and start chanting. That will bring you back to the mode of goodness.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you.